Ladies, this could just be me, but I have more trauma from women that I've been friends with in my life than men. I feel like the worst type of heartbreak and betrayal is not from a man, not from a relationship, but from close friendships. When a close friend, especially another woman, betrays you and hurts you and backstabs you, that shit hits so much more deeper. You know the saying, guys come and go, but your girls, your friends, they're there forever? Yeah, that fucking means something. Not justifying men doing this, but it's kind of already a common, premeditated baseline thought that a man is gonna betray you, break your heart, backstab you, move weird, hurt you. Like, that's already a thought. It's kind of something women already expect, right? Even if you're with a good man, like in the back of your head, especially if you've been hurt before, you're always thinking like men ain't shit. So when a friend, especially another woman, does it, it's like the biggest slap in the face and the biggest blindside, because these men are out here chewing us up left and right, causing trauma, breaking our hearts. Us women are supposed to stick together, especially when it's unprovoked and you haven't done anything to them and you've been loyal to them and a good friend to them, and you find out they were dogging you the whole time. It's such a crazy feeling, because it's like, wow, I'm really a fucking idiot. It makes you not want to make friends with girls at all.
I don't unlock the whole nother code. Like, yeah, discernment is so real, and I thank God that I have the gift of discernment, and I'm so happy that you never really getting over on me. I'm always just chilling, and we playing chess over here, not checkers. Like, just because I don't call it out or say nothing about it, that don't mean I don't know. But another thing I want to run by y'all, I'm in my room, I'm thinking, I'm done with people that pretend. Like, I don't want to be around nobody that pretend. And that's just where it's at with it. Like, if you got to fake the phone, I don't want to be around you, because guess what? One thing I'm learning about females that pretend, y'all pretend like y'all like people. Y'all pretend like y'all want to see people win. Y'all pretend like y'all got motion. Y'all pretend like y'all happy for people. And guess what? All of it's fake. Like, a bitch who can't keep it real about her own happiness, her own life, is a person that can be fake as fucking pretend to be your friend. And you know how odd of a female you gotta be to sit around somebody you don't like? No, you don't know, because y'all do it every fucking day.
When I was growing up, I was loyal to a fault. If I considered you a friend, a loved one, somebody I cared about, it pretty much would take an emotionally catastrophic event for me to realize maybe this person doesn't need to be in my life. And that's how I ended up in over a decade-long friendship with somebody who should have been out my life within the first 7 to 10 business days of knowing them. This particular friend, we met when we was 10 years old. And it honestly, like I said, it shouldn't have went further than the first week of us knowing each other, because it was just always something. As much as I loved her, I loved everybody. I was an empath. If you had a sad story, if you was going through some things, if you needed a shoulder to cry on, I was always the number one volunteer. It was just something in my makeup that made me want to be there for people, made me want to fix their problems, take their pain away, etc., etc. And that trait didn't always attract the best quality of people to me. Obviously, it would attract people who would essentially want to take advantage of those traits in me. So this friend, she had it rough. She really did. And my heart extended to her because of that. And also because of that, I endured a lot, because every time something would happen and I would confront her, she would have the same sob stories and the same excuses that would make me fall right back into the same pattern of, okay, well, you know, she is going through this. She don't mean it like that. For example, to this day, she's one of the only people who have ever set me up on a 3-way call. Y'all remember you used to be on the phone with somebody and have another person secretly listening? She's one of the only people who has ever done that to me, to my knowledge. And that's just the type of energy that she had. She loved to gossip. I know a lot of people love to gossip, but it's levels to that shit. Some people gotta check the shade room and TMZ every now and then to get their little fix, but some people need that shit like they need oxygen. They need to know your business. They need to be able to tell somebody else. They just need it. And that's the type of person that she was. And even though I was really sweet and loving and kind and caring and all of those things, I've also always been very direct. And she didn't really do a lot of things to my face. The issues that I would have with her were more so kind of like underhanded, like, behind my back type of things like that. But she did have other friends who she would talk to them crazy, and like I said, just be telling all their business, and it was always something. So I would pull her to the side in private, like, hey, why you talking to your friend like that? Or why you telling their business? Why you doing this? Why you doing that? And she would always have the perfect excuse, the perfect reason as to why she has to be doing this person the way she's doing them. And she would always wrap it up by saying, but I would never do you like that. I would never talk about you like that, Nay. Me and you different. Me and you this, me and you that. And so, like I said, for a while, I accepted it. That pacified the feeling within me that knew something is off in this friendship. And like I said, even when she would do stuff directly to me and I would confront it, it would always be like, oh no, I didn't mean it like that, or it was somebody else's fault. It was just always a lack of accountability and me feeling suckered into still being there for her. She also really wanted to fit in. She wanted to fit in so bad, and we were not growing up in a good neighborhood. So you already know, trying to fit in a messed up place is going to lead you down the wrong paths. So every time I turned around, she was in some BS, and me and her would have different seasons where we would be close and then not be close, be close, not be close. So at one point, she called herself getting in a gang, and I would see her around the city with this gang that she was in, this group of girls. And when I would see her either with the gang or even with her other friend in public, and she would literally act like she did not see me. To this day, only 2 people have done that weird ass shit to me in my life. People who I actually know, I'm actually friends with, spent time with, broke bread with, all of that. It's only 2 people who have been that close to me and then see me in public and deliberately ignore me, act like they don't see me, act like they don't know me. She was the first one. Her mama was the other person. 2 completely unrelated situations. So if that ain't a sign in itself, I don't know what is. But that's kind of the type of energy she was on. So I graduated a year before she did. In her senior year of high school, she ended up moving somewhere else. At this point, our lives have pretty much moved in different directions because we don't live close and we don't really have that excuse to be around each other so much. So by now, I'm getting into my groove in college, becoming an adult. I have a new baby. I'm living my life. So one day, after not talking to her for I don't know how long, might have honestly been like a year, she called me and she's like, hey girl, what you been up to? So I'm like, oh hey, just chopping it up because I always loved her. Like, no matter what we have been through all of those years, anytime we would reconnect, I would still have that soft spot in my heart for her. So when she called me, she's like, hey, what you been up to? Girl, I'm pregnant. So long story short, she basically was reaching out to me because she was pregnant. And like I said, I also had a child when I was in the 12th grade. Now it's the next school year. Now she's in the 12th grade. She's pregnant. So now she calling me. She want to be friends. And at the time, a sucker for all things in need. She's having a new baby. She don't know what to do. She's in need. What does she do? She called an expert. I had a baby my 12th grade year. I'm doing good, better every day, still going to college, still working, still blossoming and blooming. Now I'm what she want to be attached to. So from there, once again, fell back in the same loop. We became fast friends. Her child ended up being my godchild. The cycle continued. So now we entering into friends as adults. And like I said, I've always been very much about my business. All of my friends knew this. I was the first of my friends with my own apartment, first of my friends with my own car, first of my friends making $40,000 a year at 18, 19 years old. So she knew I was that girl. And by her being so close to me, I looked out every chance I got in any way she needed me to, whatever she needed, whatever the baby needed. I was first defense, like, call Nay. You need something, you need to borrow something, you need a bill, your lights cut off, call Nay. And I had it. I had her back every step of the way in our friendship. So fast forward to our 20s, I meet the man who would end up being my husband. By now, she's with the same dude she been with since we was like 14. They got 2 kids now. Me and her did remain close pretty much since that day she called me and told me she was pregnant. So now I've been there through both pregnancies. We like sisters. So I started dating my boyfriend. And one day we go over to her house for a kickback. And this wasn't her first time meeting him. Like, we had a few interactions prior to this. So my boyfriend and her dude was cool. Like, they were starting to forge their own friendship. So one day, me and my guy go over to their place. We go in, we vibing, having a good time, cooking, eating, drinking, just feeling good, enjoying each other's company. So me and her kind of in one part of the living room, and her dude and my dude in the other part of the living room. Everybody talking. So as the guys are talking, I hear her dude say, man, yeah, like, Danae done came through for us so many times. Like, she's solid. She like an angel. And when I tell you, I just noticed my best friend kind of out my peripheral, and the way she cut her eyes at that man, you would have thought he had just said, I was the finest bitch with the biggest titties, fattest ass he ever seen. The way she looked at him, you would have thought he said something completely different. And when I tell you, that shit was like a dagger through my heart. It hurt my feelings so bad to see her look at him like that. But it was so clear. Such a huge moment of clarity. Because one thing that'll never lie to you is energy. And the way she looked at that man said everything. The way she looked at him said, how fucking dare you say this bitch is an angel? Confirmed what I had known all of those years. You don't love me. You don't respect me. You don't appreciate me. You don't value me. You don't fucking care. You don't care. You use me. That's what you do. And now, because somebody is acknowledging it out loud, your man who has watched me be a fucking upstanding, best, amazing ass friend to you for the past 10 years he been knowing this, because she had been with him since she was 14. Mind you, me and her met when we was 10 years old. By now, we like 23 years old. So her man had been around us for about 10 years to see our friendship play out. And for her to look at him like that, because he's telling a new man that he knows that I'm getting to know, that I'm solid and I'm like an angel because of the way he's seen me show up for you in your life. It was just one of those moments that she couldn't take back. Like, it would have never been nothing she could say to make me feel better after that. And we didn't immediately stop being friends after that moment. Of course, more things would happen, but eventually it did come to an end, and I shut the door and I locked it for good. It's been like damn near 10 years since I talked to her once we did finally stop being friends. But that moment was just so eye-opening and so jarring and so hurtful, because honestly, him saying that out loud was one of the only times that somebody has ever spoken so highly of me in a public setting. I got plenty of people that love me so much in private behind closed doors when nobody else can hear it. But that was one of the first times somebody regarded me in that way out loud in front of others. And the fact that she immediately detested it, it was...
Hey E-Babes, this is part 1 on how I was catfish out of friendship. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. But the third time had did it for me, like, did it for me. Alright, y'all, so I'll be on live. Y'all know I have my little panels up, and I have supporters. Okay, so I was on a panel, and one of my supporters, they always tap the screen, share the live, and gift, or whatever. So this particular one time, they end up being on our live, and it was like, hey, can I inbox you my phone number? Can you call me? Me, I'm like, I don't really give too many people my number. But this particular person, I think I've been knowing her for over 6 months on social media only, okay? So I end up texting her. I was like, hey, what's up, whatnot. She started, like, telling me about herself, telling me who she was. And I was like, oh, okay, and I started telling her a little bit about me. So one day, I think I seen her make a post like she was depressed or going through something. So I ended up FaceTiming her. And whenever I FaceTimed her, she declined it. So I was like, okay. And then she texted me. She was like, hey, girl, you FaceTime me? I was like, yeah, I was just trying to check up on you, make sure your mental, everything is okay. She was like, yeah, I'm good. And then she ended up calling me. So whenever she called me, y'all ever had them people where the face and the voice don't go together? That was me. The face and the voice did not go together. So I was just like, when I started talking, I'm like, bro, this sound like a kid. But you know, everybody face and voice don't go together. So I let it slide. So we end up talking or whatever. She kept talking about baddies. She kept talking about like kid shit. So that kind of threw me off because like we had nothing in common. Like me, if you know, I'm not a drama person. I don't deal with all that. Like if you take me there, I will go there. But it wasn't nothing like that. Okay. So she ended up coming back on my live in the comments. She started talking about her having a miscarriage, her girlfriend leaving her. She thinks she about to have an abortion. Like I'm talking about, she's saying all this in my comments. So me, I immediately get my other phone and I text her. I was like, hey, text me. Don't put your personal business on social media or whatever. She was like, okay. I said, when I get off live, I'm gonna FaceTime you. Me, I don't even know why I wanted to FaceTime her. I just felt like it wasn't who she said it was. That was number one. Go with your first instance, okay? That's how I felt. So I ended up FaceTiming her. She declined it. She was like, my toes not done. Girl, your toes? I'm not FaceTiming you to see your motherfucking toes. She was like, oh, no, not my toes, my hair, and my nails. I'm not FaceTiming you to see that either. I'm just trying to make sure you're okay. Okay, so I just like, you know what? Whatever. So I got off the phone call, FaceTime, whatever, and then I end up getting back on my live. She ended up coming right back to my live, telling me everything else in the comments. I'm like, I just told this damn girl don't put her personal business on it because she don't know who watching. It could have been her girlfriend. It could have been her sister, brother, cousin. It could have been somebody watching. So me, I'm trying to protect her and let her know, like, everybody watching. Like, you don't know who looking at this or whatever. She didn't understand it. So, baby, when she was coming, I was writing back, okay, this is what you want. This is what you're going to get. So after I got off my live, she ended up calling me. She started talking about a bunch of shit that just didn't make sense to me, y'all. Like, when I say a bunch of shit, like, she was all over the fucking place, y'all. So I was like, oh, girl, send me a picture so I can put it as, you know, your whenever they call you, your call ID. She sent me a picture. I was like, oh, girl, you pretty. I was like, you pretty or whatnot. She was like, thank you. So she started sending me a thread of so many fucking pictures. And I'm like, this girl, she's so beautiful. And I was texting her, like, you don't have to, just because you're beautiful, that don't mean you ain't going through nothing. I was like, girl, you so beautiful. Keep your head up. Like, I was encouraging her to stay positive. Like, just stay positive. Like, you're going to get through whatever you're going through. Like, this is not the first round. Y'all, I do that. I just got to take a break because this just threw me.
So this is the story of how I found out that my husband was having an affair with 4 women. 2 of them were my friends, and 1 of them was my best friend. Trigger warning, as this story does contain themes of unaliving, so if that does upset you, then please scroll on. So I met my first husband in 2006. I was 20 years old, and I met him in a place called Jumping Jacks, which was in the bottom floor of a nightclub in Bolton called Icon. If you know, you know. I remember the strobe lighting being on and looking across the dance floor and just seeing the most gorgeous blue eyes and thinking, wow. I come to find out that he's a scaffolder, that everybody knows him. He's just a really friendly guy and just a good guy to be around. I really, really fell in love with him at the time. We moved in together, and within a year I was pregnant, and in 2008 we had our first son. He was followed by a daughter in 2010, and he was a good dad, a hands-on dad. I'm not going to slate him, but he did things that guys do when they're young. He would disappear at weekends. They go drinking, turn his phone off. But when he was there, he was a good dad. And I trusted him. I did trust him implicitly at the time. He never gave me any reason to doubt him. Quite quickly, he set up a car dealing business with his friend. And then eventually he set up a car dealing business with another friend because he wanted to break out on his own. Now, he would go out every single day, every single night, but he always told me where he was. He always came in at the time he said he would come in, and I thought he was building his business. I had no reason not to trust him. In 2012, he asked me to marry him. I was very, very happy. I said yes, and in 2014, we got married with our 2 children at the wedding. Again, I trusted him. He never gave me any reason not to trust him, apart from an incident maybe in 2015 where, you know, where you're borrowing someone's phone, and I was like, my phone wasn't available at the time, and I said, can I just, I think it was check the weather or something like that, and I was looking at his phone, and a message popped up, maybe off of his mum, and I looked at it, and I'd said a question as, why did your mum want this, or whatever it was, and he grabbed the phone. He went as white as a sheet, and he ran downstairs, and he shut the living room door, and I was banging on the door saying, "Are you cheating? What's going on?" And I think he was probably deleting everything off the phone at that time. He came out and he said it was because he was arranging a surprise for me, and he didn't want me to see. Now, for whatever reason, maybe I had 2 children, we were newly married, I was young and I wanted to believe him. We moved on, and as far as I was concerned, he was trying to build his business. Again, he would come in when he said he would at night, even though he was working every night, maybe till 12, but he said that he was doing paperwork. People still want to come and see cars later on at night after they finish work, and I genuinely believe that he was working for the good of his family. In 2016, he seemed to have gone a little bit more depressed and just wasn't himself, but he had no history of mental health issues, never threatened to do anything. He just seemed a little bit down, and when I asked him why, he said that the business just wasn't doing as well as he thought it would. However, he would catch up. We come to July 2016 and it is my daughter's 6th birthday. So a few days before the birthday, we had an argument again about him going out drinking and not being available on the phone at that time. And I was just wondering what was going on, so we had a huge argument about it. On the Friday, it was my daughter's birthday. We argued again and he ended up staying out the night. I thought he was at his friend's. On the Saturday, I'd still not heard from him. I was very annoyed because he'd not seen my daughter on her 6th birthday. And it came to bath time on the Saturday night. His friend messaged me and asked, "Have you heard from him?" Now, he was never, ever off his phone, ever. So I checked the WhatsApp and this was about 8 o'clock at night, and I last saw that he'd been on his phone at 10 a.m. that morning. That instantly rang alarm bells, and I don't know why. I just felt like he'd done something, and I just knew where he would have done it. I instantly got the kids out of the bath and I told them to get in the car, and we drove straight to his garage where he sold cars. On the way, I called his business partner, and his business partner instantly said, "Please don't go on your own. Pick up his girlfriend at the time and take her with you." So I went and I picked her up and she came with me. When we got there, I left the children in the car and I walked down the lane, and it looked closed and it had like a hockey puck lock on the door, and I thought it was locked at the time, and I couldn't get in. So I called the police and I said, "I think that my husband might be in there and I need somebody down here." They then put him as a missing person. When you call the police, they basically tier them as what kind of missing person they are, whether they need immediate attention or whether they're high risk, low risk. They put him as a middle risk because I did say that he had been struggling with work. They advised me to go home and wait for a police officer to come. So I went home with the 2 children and I waited. A police officer came and he took a statement and he asked me, could he have any other women on the go? Could he be anywhere that you don't know about? And I said, absolutely not. There is no way. He loves his family. He adores me and he would never do that to us. The police officer left and he was calling round his friends at the time. And I tried to just go to sleep, hoping that maybe he just disappeared for a bit. Maybe he needed some time for himself. And yeah, I just tried to sleep as best I could, and hopefully wait for better news. At about 2 a.m, my phone rang and it was a private number, and I answered it and it was a woman. And she asked me for my husband's best friend's phone number. And I said, "Why do you want it?" And she said, "I just need it, please. Can I have it?" And I said, "Who are you?" And she wouldn't say a name, and I just said, "Have you been seeing my husband?" And she said yes. And I said, "How long has it been going on?" And she said, 2 years. And I said, "Did you know about me and my children?" And she said yes. So he had been seeing her for 2 years. This began 2 months before we got married. I was absolutely devastated. I called my friend. I called my mum. Both my mum and my friend come round. Thankfully they did, because about half an hour after they both walked through the door, I got the phone call from his friend, his best friend, who said that unfortunately he had been found dead in his car dealing unit. I think I screamed and made a sound that I didn't think the human body was probably capable of making. My whole world had fallen apart in the space of an hour. I then had the policeman who dealt with the missing person case come back, and he told me that how he'd been found, and that his best friend and his friends knew about this other woman. The reason that they knew about this other woman is because his best friend was also seeing her before my husband was seeing her, and that's how my husband met her. His best friend was also my best friend's boyfriend. I then, at the age of 29, had to deal with 2 children who had just lost their dad. I had to deal with a funeral. I'd never dealt with anything like that before. And obviously your friends rally around you. And that's what they did, particularly my best friend, who again was his best friend, the guy who'd found him, his girlfriend. She was with me when we went to say goodbye. I was very scared to say goodbye to him. I was scared of what he would look like. And obviously I'd never seen anything like that before, and it took me maybe a week and a half to go, but I eventually went, and I asked her to come with me. And as I saw him, I dropped to the floor crying, and she was the first one who... She went over and she kissed him and she hugged him, and at the time I thought it was because she was his friend too. They used to play poker every Thursday in the pub, and I used to laugh saying my best friend is going on a date with him, and that he was taking her out on a date. And yeah, she got to say goodbye. She hugged him, kissed him, and then I came over and I hugged him and I kissed him and got to say goodbye. I'm going to have to go into a part 2 of how I found out about the rest of them and was hit with the worst betrayal that you could ever imagine. So this is my best friend. I relied on her for everything. There was 3 of us. I had another best friend, and it was just us 3 together. Like I said, because she was his best friend's girlfriend, we spent so much time together. And she helped me plan the funeral. She came with me to visit the priest. We picked music together of what he was going to have, and she really involved herself in that time. I remember the hearse coming round and seeing the flowers with Daddy on the day of the funeral, and obviously I was crying, I was upset, but she was really upset, and I was thinking, God, they must have been really good friends. At this point, there are rumours flying around, and I remember the first time that I'd heard this rumour, we'd gone for a few drinks, like trying to take my mind off it, and another friend that I knew said, well, this rumour's going around, and my best friend got so upset. She was really upset, and I remember saying to her, that's absolutely ridiculous. And you'd know that when I get his phone back from police, well, it's going to be in there, so there's just no way, you wouldn't be that stupid. And she was so convincing. She was like, exactly, I'm so upset that people would think this of me. At this time, the police were asking me, did I know his password? I was saying that I didn't know his password. I actually didn't, because he would change it all the time, which is another red flag, which I shouldn't have let go. But he used to say that his friends will get hold of his phone and they'll take pictures and just do silly stuff on it. This was a grown man at the time, and I believed him. I did, however, know his Apple ID and login. And I didn't want to tell the police that, because I thought that that was my right, it was my property, I was next of kin, and I didn't want them wiping anything. I wanted my own answers, and I wanted to find out what happened myself. So at this time I had really complicated feelings, because obviously I'd found out he'd been cheating on me, he'd been having an affair for 2 years behind my back, and I had no idea. This woman just lived on the other side of town, and I had no idea about her whatsoever. She knew everything about me and had been stalking me for 2 years, and I had no clue. When I eventually looked at her Instagram, it was exactly the same as mine. It mirrored mine in exactly the same way. She would do things that I would do, such as bake cakes, make pelmets. She'd based her entire personality on me, and I had no idea. I did, however, still give him a lovely funeral and a lovely send-off, and was still very respectful of him at that point, because I did still love him. obviously I never got to confront him about what he'd done to me. So it was very, very complicated, mixed feelings for me. Life went on, and 3 months later I met another man who was a whole other story. He was my saviour, everything that I needed, and I felt that I had no loyalties to my husband anymore because he'd just done me so dirty, basically. It was kind of a gift that I did. I felt that I could move on quicker. I would never have moved on had I not known what he was doing. But it was like a parting gift that he gave me in a way that made it a bit easier for me. 3 months later, I then get his phone back from the police. I turned it on, and I started scrolling through all the messages, and one of the messages that came up was from my best friend. When they were going to poker every Thursday, they were meeting up and doing things in the car, behind his best friend's back and my back also. This had been going on for months. I carried on scrolling, I looked through some other messages. The next message that I found was where he'd been meeting up with a girl who was my son's friend's mum. She had done my hair for my wedding, so she was also a friend and acquaintance, somebody who would be friendly with me, and she was also meeting up with him. Another girl was his business partner's daughter, who we had just been on a big holiday with as a big group, and her husband was also his friend, and she was also somebody that I would have considered a friend. I then messaged my best friend and just told her never to speak to me ever again, and I walked away, and she just said, "I'm sorry," and that was that. And to this day, I've never ever had it out with her. I've never had closure with any of them. I've never really been able to ask them why they did that, but they have to live with that for the rest of their lives. I would never do that to another woman, and I think that if you do that behind another woman's back, with a man that you know is married, with a man you know has a family, has children, you are nothing but a scumbag. The betrayal and the pain that I felt was indescribable. But as sad as this is to say, it kind of gave me an out, because I think when people unalive themselves, people around them, especially their family, their friends, they look for somebody to blame. They want to have a reason. Sometimes there is no reason. And people would have blamed me had he not been doing what he was doing. I decided, though, that I was just going to move on with my life. I had 2 children to think about, and I had to remain dignified. I wasn't going to do anything that I regretted, that was going to harm myself, harm my children. I just wanted to move on with my life, and it took me a long time to forgive him for what he did. I mean, I'm now 8 years down the line, 9 years down the line, nearly 9 years, and it's taken me to now really to start processing everything that I've been through, and grief has no timeline, and people go back for grief counselling years and years later because it doesn't hit them until years later. And like I said, because I met somebody quite quickly, we then got married, we had another child, I didn't really deal with it, and I'm only just dealing with it now. So that's my story. There is a lot more to the story, really, a lot more details that I could and probably will go into at some point. But I just hope that I can help people with this TikTok. It's taken me a long time to speak out about what I went through, and I just want to help other grieving mothers. My children are amazing, and I'd like to speak more on that and how you can help children who have been through the loss of a parent. And if you watch the whole thing, thank you for listening. I do appreciate it.
No, I'm sorry. One of the worst type of friends are the ones that stop talking to you the minute they get in a relationship. One of my best friends, when she got in a relationship, I was so happy for her. But what I started to notice is I'm the type of person, if one of my friends asks to meet me on a certain day and I can't do that day, I'll say, no, I can't do that day, sorry. But are you free this day or this day? But what I noticed was happening with my friend is I would ask to see her on a certain day and she would just be like, oh no, I can't, sorry, I'm busy. And that would be the end of the conversation. I would wait a week or two, ask again, oh, are you free this weekend? Are you free Wednesday? No, sorry, busy. Wouldn't hear from her again. So what I told myself to do, after that happened 4 or 5 times, I just said to myself, okay, I'm not going to message her first. I'm not going to message her again until she messages me. Well, we haven't spoke to each other in 6 months. And I don't think I'm the asshole for that. The crazy, I've been seeing, this is one of my best mates. I've been seeing someone since October. She has no idea. That's one of my best friends, has no idea. Sorry, I've been eating chocolate. It's all over me. I'm 31 years old. I know that people get busy. Once people get in relationships or working or have kids, you're going to see your friends less and less. That's part of life. That's not a problem. I don't mind my friends busy, but what I wish had happened is if I say, can you meet up? And she can't, I wouldn't even care if she said, oh, but I can next month. Or I can in 2 months. I don't care about the length of time it is when she can meet me. But she's not even trying to. And I know I can predict it. I probably won't hear from her again until they break up, if they break up. And that's what's annoying, because I know the day they break up, suddenly she'll want to hang out again. Suddenly she'll want to meet up regularly again. But I don't exist until she's not in her relationship. That's my best mate. She has no idea what's been going on in my life since like September. I'm sorry, I'm in a ranty mood. Rant? Is it rant or rant? Rant. I'm ranty today. It's really frustrating. That's one of my best friends. I don't exist anymore. I'm very sad about it.
Okay, y'all, quick story time after the shower about how my best friend from high school tried to quick story time about how my best friend from high school tried to destiny swap with me. Tried to steal my life, tried to steal my business, emulated, and failed miserably. Okay, let me I think I'm pulling a rope real quick. 1 second. Okay, so boom. I made friends with this girl in high school. We gonna call her E. Me and E became friends in high school, I think our junior year. She ended up leaving, and we ended up reuniting at a freaking event. So with mutual friends. Years later, we planned parties together, but I mainly was like, okay, I'm gonna do parties to basically promote my music and just be around a lot of content creators, YouTubers, TikTokers, all of that. She was like, oh, okay, I want to help you with it. I'm like, okay, cool. So all she would do was just make me a flyer. I would promote, I would talk to people, I would do a whole bunch of stuff. She would probably invite like maybe 2 or 3 of her friends, and I would invite damn near every fucking creator on every fucking platform, because bitch, the point of this is for me to be networking. I'm in Houston. I stay downtown across from the soccer stadium. I stay in this live ass high rise. I'm using it to promote my brand. Boom. End up getting pregnant one year. Like my dumb video shoot, that was like one of my influencer parties. So boom, end up getting pregnant. All 2024, 2025 came back. Then I was telling her like, yo, I got this sponsorship with Girls Are Drugs. The owner, he was basically saying like he will sponsor free merchandise. And then I was like, I got another sponsorship from Branson Cognac. Like, I'm getting big sponsorships and big brands. And I'm like, I want to do like a party. She's like, yeah, you should do it at so-and-so's mansion. I'm like, okay, yeah, I ain't even, you know what? I was thinking about that. Cool. Then she was like, oh, you know what? You should, link up with old boy. Okay, cool. So ended up taking 2 of those ideas, and she was helping me with the event. She was like, I just want to start my own event coordination business. Mind you, around this time, she got snaked out by all of her best friends, like her whole group of friends, like snaked her out, cut her off. So of course me taking a little orphan child in, I'm like, oh, come on. Because one thing's about me, I don't really like a lot of people around me. But this was my friend in high school. I have a soft spot in my heart for her, and she's just crying about this shit. So I feel like very protective over her. Okay, so boom. Fast forward, the event comes. I named the event Shark City. I basically share my information of how I start my parties. I basically partnered with all of the blogs in Houston. I basically brung hella media. I basically was the freaking heart, because again, I've been doing this since like 2022, late 2022. So only thing I did was just like, just put it all together. This time I had like people coming and seeing the dream because, yeah. Fast forward, me and the girl fell out because she ended up feeling like she wasn't getting enough attention from the event. Mind you, she said she wanted an event coordination business. Bitch, run your fucking event coordination. Like, coordinate another fucking event. You don't need to survive off of my energy. But when people don't have their own identity, they get angry and they start to compete. So boom, people around me started peeping like certain stuff she was doing, trying to take ownership of my business. Mind you, I trademarked the LLC. Like, this is an actual business. I made Shark City an LLC, a business. So I copyrighted. I'm like, this is a legacy. I started partnering with major label execs and everything. Like, but one of my business partners, Carl Crawford, was one of my business partners. Boom. Man, I cut this crazy girl off because she was doing too fucking much, talking shit about me with her friends, trying to make it seem like she was just bigger than a program. And I'm like, bitch, you are not the birthday, bitch. You was more like the Kwanzaa. Relax. I'm not finna do that, bitch. I'm the coach, ho. You wasn't even on this shit, bitch. You was sitting in the motherfucking background going to parties and twerking in sections, bitch. And living with a nigga and surviving with the nigga, bitch. I been doing this shit. So, yeah, I had to be like, hold up. You biting the hand that's feeding you. This girl got mad, went to my business partner, said that she owned everything and I stole it from her. Stole all the notes from the phone because we would be doing phone meetings. Mind you, I'm breastfeeding my daughter when I'm talking to her. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to start a note to collab you. Stole it, uncollab me. Did all of this foul ass shit to me. Went behind my back. Then they began to emulate my party with the clip sitting. And I'm just like, wow. Like, this girl literally just tried to destiny swap me. Mind you, I didn't say anything. I let the shit go on. Of course, God being God, he did not let that shit last that long. He shut that shit down. Like, touch not my anointed, do my prophet not harm. So, boom. Fast forward. The bitch still ain't on. Bitch, you tried to destiny swap me, ho, and it failed miserably. Ended up coming back, getting a bigger blessing with Shark City. Because, mind you, I'm a rapper, so I'm like, this is really my shows. Like, I'm really making my own Rolling Loud and Coachella's full of streamers, content creators, YouTubers, and TikTokers, OnlyFans girls, rappers, industries, bloggers. Like, I'm doing it all. Man, this girl literally tried to go to another YouTuber and say, hey, I know all of her business stuff. I'm going to help you with all of her stuff and do all of this all in return. I just want whatever the fuck. I guess to be on a flyer next to somebody off of Baddies. Bitch, you're lame. Bitch, I'm trying to boss you up, ho. You went against me because you wanted to compete with me, but you want to try to destiny swap. And it failed miserably because it's like you're still nowhere. You did all that shit to still end up no fucking where. And it hurt me because it was like, this is my career. I'm feeding my child. I'm doing me. But when you can't benefit off of me, you want to try to destroy me. And that was like such a slap in the face. But yeah, that was a story of a girl trying to destiny swap with me. This bitch still ain't on shit. This bitch still ain't doing shit. I just want to say, beware of people that don't know themselves and don't have an identity and can't find themselves. Like, I should have looked at the red flags when she was trying to steal her sister's femininity business. Like, she was like, oh, I was my sister's assistant. Same as mine. She was my assistant. I have all her PowerPoints and everything. I was just going to recreate it and do my own. Bitch, you're not even feminine. Bitch went around slandering me, talking about me, went to my business partners, tried to make me look so crazy. I just let her go on about it. Like, the shit she did is something somebody needs their ass whooped for. And I still need that. I definitely still need that. When I see that, I'm going to get that. Because, bitch, you want to be the birthday? I'm going to show your ass the birthday gift, ho. But, I'm going to make you the birthday gift. Fuck is you talking about? But, yeah, don't let these bitches in your space. If they ain't got main character energy, bitch, get that hoe away from you. Because all these bitches gonna try to do is destiny swap you. Somebody can smile in your face, but that don't mean they like you. Just because somebody is admired by you, when they realize they can't be you, they will start to envy you. And then when the destiny swap starts to fail and their life just starts to be horrible, because, bitch, you want to reap the benefits, but you can't walk a mile in my shoes. You can't do shit that I do. How the fuck you don't even know your own life's purpose? Anyways, ladies, protect your energy, protect yourself, protect your plan, and protect your fucking business. Don't let people play with you. Because a lot of people don't survive a destiny swap. A lot of people fall into that negative shit. And my life's still going up. Blessings, 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 blessings. God is transitioning me. God is doing so much for me. And bitches' lives is just like, loser. Second place. Just bitches ain't doing shit but working and being assistants, like professional assistants. And like, hey. But it's crazy. Beware of these loser ass hoes. These hoes be losers.
All right, the girl's been asking for a story time, and I'm finally gonna give y'all a story time. I'm gonna give y'all a story time about that time when my friend slept with my boyfriend and nobody in the friend group told me. All right, so if you stayed, that was literally an attention grabber. Somebody literally did tell me. So the girl who told me, we're gonna call her Tinkerbell. The girl who didn't tell me, we're gonna call her Kit Kat, and the girl who did it, we're gonna call her Snake. So mind you, me and the boy we had broken up. I do want to start by saying that, but like, I'm a principal girl. Like, literally, like, it hadn't even been 30 days. Like, what I'm about to tell you happened in a 2-week time span. Now, I was telling Tinkerbell, like, hey, like, if he gets his life together, like, I'm gonna take him back. You know what I'm saying? You know how when you break up with somebody, you still trying to figure it out. Like, that's the era that me and this individual was in. So also, I was telling Tinkerbell, like, you know, Snake's just giving me these vibes that she would sleep with him. Like, she was really overly invested in a relationship, like, just super infatuated with us, like, just super weird. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, her energy towards him wasn't giving, like, you're my friend, and the interactions that she would have with him was just, like, very, like, extremely inappropriate or whatever. The signs were literally there. So Tinkerbell calls me up and she's like, hey, Shashai, like, come over for drinks. And I'm like, dang, like, Tinkerbell literally had a long freaking day, because she's not the type to just be, like, drinking. You know what I'm saying? So I go, and when I walk in, y'all, you can literally cut the tension with a knife. So I sit down. She's like, do you want tequila or vodka? I'm like, bro, you done had a long day. So she's like, yeah, Shashai, I got something to tell you. And I don't even let her finish her sentence before I say, they're effing, aren't they? I just knew it. So being the crash out that I was, I'm getting up, about to go pull up on her. You know what I'm saying? Pull up on him, like, just crazy, y'all. Just acting the mess. And Tinkerbell calms me down. She's like, no, like, just calm down. Like, just calm down. She's like, you know, because Kit Kat said X, Y, and Z, and doop Kit Kat. What do you mean, Kit Kat? You telling me that a girl that I've been friends with for 10 plus years told you a girl that I've been talking to for less than a year? What? That don't even make sense. But a little background between me and Kit Kat, I had always cut her off. Like, I was always a friend of hers. She was never a friend to me. And she would always tell my business, and I would just, like, forgive her and take her back. Like, just, you know how it be. You know, you love somebody, you just try to see the best in them, whatever. So I call Kit Kat, and she's talking Cash Money ish about this girl. Like, oh, she's messed up for this, and bloop-de-bloop, and they've been doing this for weeks, and girl, just spilling all the tea. So mind you, Kit Kat was making me and my line sister shirt. This is an important detail. Keep that in the back of your head. So the next day, people keep sending me Kit Kat's story. I can't see it. It's unavailable. So I asked my brother for his phone. I'm like, hey, Justin, like, let me see your phone. So I look up Kit Kat's Instagram. She's painting Snake's toenails on Instagram. She's painting her toenails. Why are you painting this girl toenails after you just talked all this Cash Money issue about her? You're painting her toenails?
No, because I was actually around somebody that told people they hated me. Y'all think I be telling these stories and giving y'all advice based on just stuff on top of my head? No, I actually go through it. Y'all remember that video I made about people would actually be around you and not like you? Oh no, that comes from a real life situation with me. And I'm going to tell this story time till I can't tell it no more, because I still can't believe it. The fact that you could really be around people and call people your sister, your girl, your home girl, your ride or die, and the female would not like you and can't stand your guts. So boom, I remember I had this friend, right? This friend, we was cool. Everything was wonderful. We grew up together. We went to middle school together. Her sister, my sister, all four of us hung out all the time, went to the club together, went to each other's house. I went to their house a lot, went to their hood, was in their area, met their grandma. We were sisters, okay? So boom, I just don't know what went wrong, to be honest with you. All I know is that we used to be hanging out, right? And then I remember her energy used to get dry, but I kind of ignored it. That was before I really had real good discernment. So yeah, it was stuff that I wasn't seeing.
But I remember, like, at one point, my sister had told me, she was like, oh, she don't like you. And I was like, well, why? I said, well, all these years, when did she stop liking me? Like, I really wanted an answer for that. I said, well, why? What did I do? And so I was like, okay. She was like, yeah, she said that you're not her cup of tea. And she was just like, oh, she hates you. Actually, she used the word hate. Let's just be real. She said she hated me. I've never had somebody say that they hated me. And I couldn't get over how this girl who was my sister could hate me so bad. Like, I could not figure it out. So boom, I'm like, okay, well, that's kind of unsettling. Like, that was terrifying, because I'm like, dang, this is a girl that I actually be around, y'all, like, for real. So boom, I remember one time me and her sister was working together, right? So we grown, we in our 20s by now. Me and her sister was working together. And so I had her sister phone, because we was on Snapchat. She was showing me something. So the sister that don't like me, she ended up writing something on Snapchat to the sister that I was cool with. And so she didn't know I had the phone. I saw a notification pop up. It was like, why you with her? So I read the notification like, she talking about me? Like, what? So that was a confirmation that the girl really just didn't like me, right? So I said, okay, so what my sister said was true. Like, the girl don't like me. Like, she literally hates me. So at some point I got tired of it. I was like, I'm tired of trying to figure this out, whatever. Because I remember one time we went to the club and I had actually walked up to her, hugged her and everything. And I didn't even know the girl didn't like me. So one day I said, you know what? Because y'all know me, I'm a dress stuff, okay? So I was like, listen, put everybody on three-way, because I need some answers, okay? So everybody gets on three-way, and I was like, okay, well, let me just ask her. I said straight up, I said, what's your problem with me? What happened? I said, what's the issue? And she was like, oh, it's no problem. It's no problem. It's just that you're not my cup of tea. And I said, well, what does that mean? She was like, you're just not my cup of tea. So I told myself, I said, okay, that's cool. You don't have to like everybody, okay? You don't. But why would you be around me? Why would you be in my presence? Why would you let me come to your house if you don't like me? And that made me feel like I put myself in dangerous situations, because she could have had anything happen to me, right? So after all these years, I was trying to figure out what it could have been. Like, I was like, dang, did one of her dudes get in my DM back in the day? Like, what is something I'm missing? I don't know. And I chalked it up to, based on the timeline, it was just jealousy. It was pure jealousy, period. Because I'm not gonna lie, at that time when I realized her energy was changing, that's when I had lost weight, y'all. I was in my prime, okay? I lost a lot of weight. I was looking good. I was feeling good. I was doing good, okay? And I kid you not, she was always bigger than me. And I was trying not to say that's what it was, but I felt like that's what it was. I was like, why did everything shift when I started like glowing in life? So even though she didn't want to tell me, that's the answer I came up with. But the moral of this story is that when I be telling y'all that people will be around y'all and not like y'all, I'm not making it up. They would literally be in your presence, in your face, eye contact with you, hugging you, and not like you. They literally would hate you. The girl said she hated me, and I had nothing but love for her. People would hate you, and you have no idea that they don't like you. You have no clue, and that shit is scary, okay? So yeah, that's my quick story time, y'all. Watch the company you keep, okay? These girls be dangerous. All right, bye.
I made a post about this on Facebook, but now I'm going to make it in a video. Normalize not being back friends with the same people that tried to destroy your fucking life. They publicly exposed you. They became friends with your op and told them everything about you. They tried to ruin your marriage or your relationship, get you fired from your job, called CPS on you, tried to get you thrown in jail. And you think just because you guys have history that everything just goes away, right? You think because you guys were best friends or best cousins or best sisters or best moms and dads and all of that stuff, that holds any kind of weight on them reoffending. Let me tell you something that I've learned in my life. Refriending bitches has always bit me in the ass. I have learned some pretty hard lessons in this little 33 years of mine about friends, about bitches, about weird people that secretly hate you. And I, like a dummy, always fell for the I'm sorry, I was wrong. You're really dope. You're awesome, Sierra. I miss you. I really miss hanging out with you. I will never do something like that again. And then there's me. No, it's cool. It's cool. I mean, thanks for apologizing, you know? As long as you apologize, I know you'll be a better person, right? Right. Wrong. And then they fuck me over again. And then as soon as I don't want to talk to them anymore, they run to every op that they could think of in my life. Anybody that we've ever talked about, they have suddenly became best friends with. They have suddenly added them on Facebook and is commenting on their post. Anybody that is associated with me, even if it's not negative, they have somehow got up in their life. Meanwhile, they don't like me. Ran any little bit of business that I had to the people that they know don't like me because they're mad at me. And again, I have forgiven these kind of people numerous times. And at my big age of 33, let me tell you what I've learned. I don't hate you at all. I promise I don't hate you. I will never talk to you. I will never trust you. You will never be in my circle. You will never know my business. Stop. Just stop. Don't refriend these people, men or women, that have done you dirty. They are going to do you dirty again. It is only a matter of time. They do not really like you. They just want your life, and they want to see all kind of bad shit happen to you. That's the only reason they want to be close to you, so you can tell them your problems. And then when y'all not cool, they're going to tell everybody else your problems. So stop refriending people. I'm not a girl's girl. I am not a girl's girl at all. And before you call me a pick-me-shit, which I am not at all, let me explain to you why I am personally not a girl's girl. And I am not in any kind of way knocking the real girls out there. If you are for women and you genuinely love women and you are kind and you are sweet, and that is awesome, that is amazing. It's not a lot of you out there, but let me get back to what I was gonna say. A lot of bitches are fake. Let's just get that out the way first, right? They claim to be girls, but they really are just male-centered women who put on this mask and this act like they're all about girls and femininity and the movement, and they bullshit, and it's fake. It's not real. It is a lie. They talk about their friends behind their back. They are jealous of their friends that do better than them. They only want to be cool with people who are lower than them, nobody higher than them. You can't, they don't support you. They're not going to share your stuff on social media. They're not going to congratulate you on stuff. None of that. They don't really want to do that. It's all fake. That is fake. But these will be the same ones that want to have women conventions, and they want to do these things with women, and they want to promote positivity, and they want to say, read the Bible, and we all deserve to be together. But they be doing all that other shit too. No, it's not going to be put out there on Front Street. Only the ones that know them in real life know what's really going on, but this is what really be going on. They not really girls. I personally have had some like really bad experiences with women, and it is the reason why I don't, let me be honest. I don't want to go as far as saying I don't have friends, because I know how that sounds, but I do have women that are out there that I do care about, and I think that are awesome. But I, in real life, and everybody that knows me knows I'm not lying about this, there's nobody that I'm going to brunch with. There's nobody that I'm going shopping with. There's nobody that I'm on the phone with every single day. I don't have any of that. Not that I cannot have it at all. It's just my trust in women is very, very, very small. I have came across some women that are just weird as hell. They do weird shit. They don't want to admit that they do weird shit. They take no accountability. But they are weird, and they are obsessive, and they talk about all of their friends, and they only want to be close to you to get close to somebody else. And when you don't want to be friends with them anymore, they go and befriend people that know you, and they just weird. But these are the same women that will say that they are girls, and they are not. I'm not saying every woman is like this at all, so please do not take offense if you really are genuinely a nice person. I'm not talking about you. But there are some plain out evil women out there, and I do mean evil. And it doesn't matter if they're 21, it doesn't matter if they're 51, it doesn't matter if they're 71. They are pieces of shit. They are evil women. They are mean. They are catty. They are nasty. Don't let one of them be your manager. That's another story for another time. But yeah, not to mention, I don't really know a lot of women that are down to take accountability, that are down to hear you say something to them that they don't want to hear. Most women that I've ran across in my life, you cannot tell them anything that they don't want to hear. If you don't tell them exactly what they want to hear, when they want to hear it, they think that you're beefy. They think that you're mad at them. They think that you're a hater. I can't stand women like that. I am not 20 years old anymore. When I was 20, I had a whole childish, immature way of thinking. I am 33. So if I am talking to you, I am expecting me to be able to tell you something and you not to get offended by everything. If you're going to get offended by everything that I tell you, if I tell you not to do something, or if I tell you that you're wrong, I can't fuck with you on that level. I don't have to beef with you, but we have a fine line, because I cannot mess with women that are not able to be wrong about anything, because that shows me that you're not willing to grow. I don't want to be friends with somebody who's not able to grow. If you understand where I'm coming from, let me know. Stitch this video, comment, whatever, because I know I'm not the only one that feels like this. It is not that I hate women at all. It's not that at all. It's just, unfortunately, I have been put in this place of I am so self-aware of myself and my downfalls and my shortcomings and, things like that, that when I come across women that are not like that, I can't mess with you. It's a lonely place to be sometimes, but I'd rather be alone in my own space than to be at a seminar or a lunch with a woman or women that I know for a fact are not genuine, and that when I walk away from this table, you probably are going to talk about me. I can feel it, I know it, and I can't rock with that. I guess for me personally, it's like, fuck all of that. Let's take pretty pictures and go get mimosas and look cute together, when in real life I can't even tell you that you made a mistake without you being offended by it. I don't want to do that with you. Let's talk about self-development. Let's talk about being able to grow and become better women. If you're not able to do that without being offended about everything, then guess what? Me and you cannot be cool. And that is why I sit in a very lonely spot in life. Like I said, there's some women out there that I care about a lot. But I'm saying, as far as me just being out here and just having friends and doing stuff, I do not have that. I just haven't got to that point, and a part of it is probably my anxiety. But yeah. Does anybody else feel this way?
The reason that I would never have another female friend that's super close to me, like best friend status, is because females really do be doing grimy, fucked up stuff. You could tell a female your whole life story. You could tell her everything you've been through. You could tell her your ups and downs, your trials and tribulations. You could really be connecting and bonding with her. And then let y'all get into a little minor disagreement. Oh, you a bitch and you this and you that. And then it's like, damn, bitch, where did all of this come from? And then you slowly discover that they hated you the whole time. It was so much secret animosity, but you just never even knew because you thought that this girl was your friend. They be the main ones out here telling your business, dragging your name through the mud, talking cash money shit about you, and then call your phone and ask you what you doing and if you want to hang out. Like, bitch, what? And it's crazy because you would never expect that coming from a female that you confided in and spent so much time with, but it happens every day. In fact, I fought all of my friends, all of my female friends that I used to be cool with, I fought all of them because it was just based on the principle. Like, bitch, you doing fucked up stuff to me and I never would treat you like that as my friend. So that's why I just can't have no more female friends. That's dead. I cut that.
I used to be friends with this girl, and I remember one time she told me that she was basically plotting on another one of our mutuals' man. And I will never forget it. Number one, made me look at her like, bitch, if you would do that to somebody that we know, you have no problem doing that to me. And I remember her asking me, what you think? And I told her in the sweetest, calmest tone ever, I will whoop your ass every time I saw you. Yeah. Sometimes, actually all the time, if you calling somebody a friend, you gotta let them know about themselves. You gotta let them know, number one, do not play with you. And two, being around somebody like me, you're gonna be held accountable. I'm not letting shit slide like that. And then I was like, I will never trust you. I will never trust you around my man. I will never trust you or bring you around anybody that I like. And it's so crazy. Not crazy, because you know how like you'll have a friendship breakup or something will happen and you're like, there were signs. She was like low-key flirting with somebody that I really, really liked. And I had told, listen, I like this boy. I kind of got a crush on him. And it turned into a thing where I was just like, you did that to me. But also, there were signs. You told me that you were thinking about plotting on one of our mutuals. Man, weird. Oh, shit. Move them people out of your life, like immediately. You will never be able to trust them.
I just have to cut off my longtime friend because every time we get on the phone and we talk about what's going on in our lives, she's always trauma dumping and there's always something wrong with her and she's always struggling and she's always going through something. So me as a friend, I'm always going to offer help any way that I can, whether it's advice, monetary help, whatever, but she never wants it. So I was kind of getting the vibes like she wants to soak in her struggle. She wants to soak in her sadness. And so if every single time we have a conversation, you are trauma dumping on me and you are telling me all these traumatic experiences and bad things that's happening to you and the bad shit that you're going through every single day, but you don't want my help, then you just don't want help at all. You want to be in that negative energy. You want to have that bad luck. Today when she called me, I didn't answer. I thought about what I wanted to say to her. I wrote it out in my notes and then I copied it, pasted it, and sent it to her as a text. Basically, I was just saying, like, respectfully, I don't want to continue this friendship with you. We have been friends for like 5 years now. I love you, but there's a lot of things that you have to work on. that I can't help you with because you won't allow me to help you. She texted me back. She clearly had an attitude. I don't think she understands where I'm coming from. Now I'm conflicted because now I feel like I'm being selfish. I wasn't trying to be selfish. Or maybe I was. I don't know. I have worked so hard to get my life to be what it is now, and I'm still working on getting my life to be better. And you are really bringing me down. I can't have you around anymore. I'm sorry. I outgrew you. It is what it is. Was I wrong?
Yo, something I'm not doing at this big grown age of mine is allowing ex-friends back into my life. When somebody shows you that they are hateful and malicious, now friends, we can fall out. We can fall out all day. We can have disagreements. As friends, we're not going to always agree. But any event that someone has said they were your friend and they did something hateful or malicious, they spread rumors about you, wanted to gang up with you with people that were your enemies, they were never your friend from the beginning. And something I noticed, when it's beneficial to hate you, people will hate you. And when it's beneficial to love you and somebody needs something, yes, they'll come around and try to be your friend again. As for me, I'm not welcoming those people back in my life. I don't care if it was 2015. I don't care if it was 2014. You are still that same person. You still got that same hate in your heart. And there's no way you will be welcomed in my space. I ain't playing that this year.
2 years ago, when I found out my boyfriend was cheating on me, I found the girl who he was cheating on me with. I found her on Facebook. I messaged her and I told her, hey, I know this might be a little weird, but I know you're fucking with my boyfriend. He is my boyfriend. We have been together for X amount of time. I just wanted to let you know. I'm not upset with you because I know you probably didn't know. However, I will be breaking up with him. And I felt it was necessary to let you know that the man that you've been sleeping with has a girlfriend. She proceeded to message me back saying, oh, I know about you. I knew you existed and I don't care. So then, me flabbergasted as fuck, I responded back, I don't know if you know about girl code, but number one, you don't do that. And number two, I was letting you know from a place of kindness and love and womanhood and whatever the fuck. You know what this bitch said? Well, you're not my friend, so girl code doesn't apply to you. She said girl code only applies to a girl that's your friend. So then obviously all that nice shit that I was trying to do was out the window. Now you pissed me the fuck off, bitch. Now I was like, so you sat there and you fucked my nigga knowing that he was my nigga. Okay, bet. So we was going back and forth for a little while and I was like, you know what? Go get tested because that nigga dirty as fuck and we're not the only two that he's fucking. Goodbye. And she low-key got obsessed and she was making like Facebook posts about me like almost every single day. Mind you, we were not friends on Facebook. So yeah, I was searching her up to see what she was saying about me. So I guess you could say I was just as obsessed. I would look up her name to see what she was posting. She was posting indirects towards me. Mind you, this girl was older than me. This happened when I was 24. This lady was 30 at the time. So she gotta be like 34 now or some shit. But to sit here and tell me that girl code does not apply to anyone that's not your friend is insane. I messaged you because I found out about you and I thought that you were as ignorant as me when it came to this dude, but you knew about me the whole time and you was fucking this nigga. You are insane. You are dirty. You are low down, and I would never ever want to have a friend like you. That is absolutely insane. So now my question is to all the other girls, is girl code only valid when it comes to your friends, or do you follow girl code when it comes to any other girl? So for example, you fucking with a man, you find out he's married or he's in a relationship. Do you cut it off or do you continue to fuck this man? I don't know. You tell me.
I saw a post where somebody said that no one likes to talk about the trauma that comes from being betrayed by a female friend or female friends. And let me tell you, baby, the PTSD is real. I spent 4 years of my life purposely excluding myself from trying to have relationships and building bonds with other women because of the trauma that I had endured from having best friends who just literally stabbed me in my back. When I talk about my friends, I am a ride or die for my friends. Like, I will go to war behind my girls. That's my sister, period. And I treat them as such. So when I get betrayed, that shit is like a stab in my heart. So when that happened to me, I'm telling you, it was traumatizing, and it still is to this day. It's so hard to maintain and keep friendships because I'm scared. I'm scared. Like, when I say it's traumatizing, it's literally like every woman that tried to encounter me, I was just like, snake. She just wants my man. She doesn't actually give a fuck about me. She just wants to come up off of what I'm up on. She don't actually want to see me succeed. She just wants to leech off of me, or she is just using me. It gives you trust issues. It gives you trauma. It gives you PTSD. Like, just like y'all be talking about them relationship breakups and them relationship heartbreaks because a nigga done betrayed you. It happens with females too, bro, and it literally scars you. I am still trying hard. Like, I have to literally force myself to get out of that mindset that not everybody is going to betray me and give people the rope to hang. I'm just saying, y'all know that saying. I have to give people the rope, bro. And that's hard when you got PTSD behind friendships and bitches because they do you dirty.
So story time about how I fell out with this girl because she was a bad mom. And I didn't even really choose to fall out with her. She kind of fell out with me. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. So I had been friends with this girl for maybe like 10 years. So back in 2020, I was getting back from my deployment. And I was like 22. I was young and turned. All I wanted to do was go out to the club and party. Like, I've been on lockdown for 8 months. So that's all I wanted to do. So prior to my deployment, she had got pregnant before, but she decided to get an abortion. I thought it was best because her and her baby daddy, they were toxic as fuck. Like, toxic as hell. It didn't make no sense. Especially at that age that we were at. I didn't understand the toxicity that they were going through. So I still tried to be a friend and be supportive of her. And so when I got back from my deployment, they lived together. And I remember I was so upset because she had finally moved out of her mom's house. And I was like the only person at the time who didn't stay with the parent. Like, for years I stayed on my own. So I was excited that another one of my homegirls had their own place. So when she moved in with a man, I was kind of just like, like, ugh, that sucks. So, so she moved in with this man. And I remember it was one day we had went out. I'm on leave after my deployment. And she gets into it with her man. So she makes us drive from the middle of Atlanta all the way back to her house to pack up her shit from her house and move it to her mom's house to Gwinnett in the middle of the day. It's hot as hell. It's August. And we did all of this, and then we end up going out to the club. And I remember the whole time we're at the club, she's texting that man, and she's just like, oh, but I just want to be with him. She's drunk, whatever. And I'm just like, girl, like, I'm supposed to be staying with you. So it's just like, where the fuck am I supposed to stay at if I'm not staying with you? Like, I didn't feel like going to my mom's house. Like, that, it really just blew me, especially at what time in the morning it was. So she was like, oh, you can just stay at my mom's house. Like, so she just gave me a key, and I ended up spending the night in her old bedroom at her mom's house. But I was still just like, bro, like, what the fuck? So I didn't really know that I was friends with like a male-centered woman. I didn't really know none of this at 22. Like, it didn't click for me. So we talked about how she had the abortion before I got on my deployment, and then afterwards we were hanging out. Okay, so it was time for me to go back to work, like regular job stuff. So I'll go back to work. She pops up pregnant. And I'm just like, okay, cool. She decides to keep it. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I understand. It is what it is. I had never been pregnant before, but it's whatever you want to do with your life. That's your life at the end of the day. So the whole time she's pregnant, over the next like 8 to 9 months, she's just like, oh, like, you never want to hang out with me. Like, every time you come to Atlanta, like, you're always partying, you're always in the clubs, but you just never come and see me. And I was young and turned. Like, I didn't want to sit in the house. I don't have a baby. I don't have no kids. Like, what else is a 22-year-old supposed to do? So I'm like, you know what? I am being a pretty bad friend. Like, let me take my homegirl out to go get some food. So, like, me and her, we go and get food. And I introduce her to another one of my best friends who has a daughter already. She already has a kid. Because my friends have kids, I don't. But my friends also be having people to watch the kids. Like, and we go out and we get turned. Or we chill at their houses and whatever. So I introduce her to my other homegirl. We all go and get, like, Mexican food or something together. And then we ended up dropping her back off, or like we part ways. So this is when she's still pregnant. So a few months later, she has the baby. And this was the same year that my sister had my nephew. So this is like 2021. So we're all hanging out together. Like, my cousin had just had her second baby.
And my sister had, of course, just had my 10-pound nephew. And so I'm like, I want her to be around people that has kids. Like, so I'm introducing her to all these people, like, because once again, I'm not no mommy. So once again, we hang out with my best friend, the one that we went to the Mexican restaurant to. We go to her house. But prior to all of this, I ended up taking my homegirl out to brunch. So we go and we eat brunch. The baby is with her. So I'm like, you know what? Put the car seat in the car. Like, her and her man ended up getting into it that morning. He was originally supposed to watch the baby. She made us leave where we were at to go and get the baby. Like, nah, you're not finna watch my child, whatever, whatever. So she goes and she gets the baby. I was like, just put him in the car. Put him in the back seat, whatever, whatever. She put him in the car seat in the back. And let's just go get brunch, whatever. So we go and we get brunch. We're eating. The baby never eats. The baby's about like 4 months. The baby's not eating. The baby is breastfed. He doesn't eat formula. And she already was trying to like feed him real food. Like, she had a little baby blender, was trying to feed him like food. And like I said, my sister had just had a baby. So I knew that this wasn't a milestone yet for the baby. But whatever, I digress. Like, not my kid. I don't got no kids. Like, who the fuck am I? So she doesn't feed the baby when we're at the brunch spot. And I'm just like, okay, cool. Like, the baby's fussy. Okay, cool. We've been together like this whole day. And then next thing I know, we go to my homegirl's house. And it's later in the day. Like, we had did some stuff, like walked around, walked into stores and all this other stuff. So we go to my homegirl's house and they're gardening together. I don't garden. They garden. Me and my best friend, we're drinking wine because that's usually what we do, and just watching shows on the TV. The baby's there. Her daughter's there. Cool. And so I remember we asked my best friend, like, oh, did you breastfeed? And she was like, no, I wanted to garden. So I wasn't finna breastfeed. Like, I knew what I wanted to do after my baby. So she was on formula. So I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Because my other homegirl, like, she was breastfeeding. So I'm thinking, like, I know what a pump and dump is. She now, at around like 8 o'clock, decides she wants to feed her baby. Straight to the titty. No pump and dump. My best friend looks at me. I look at my best friend. And I'm just like, okay, like, cool. And so I have now been on a roller coaster of emotions with this girl. And this was kind of like my final straw, because it had been like so much. Like, maybe like a week prior to this, like, I brought her to my aunt's house. Like I said, my cousin had just had her baby. And she was just putting the baby in the room with my cousin's kids and just turned on the light and was just like, oh, he'll just fall asleep. Like, she wasn't actually like picking up the baby to put him to sleep. None of that. Like, she was just saying he was going to fall asleep. And every 5 minutes, my cousin kept coming out the room like, your baby crying. Your baby crying. And so it was a lot. I never said anything about it. I was more so upset with the fact that, like, she did give that man a baby and I didn't feel like he was properly helping. But I never said anything about it. But I guess she could feel my aura and feel my energy about it. She knows that I never liked that man. But it also stemmed from the fact that they were not good together. They were always arguing. They were together for like 7 years. They were high school sweethearts. Always arguing, always getting into it, always breaking up, all this other stuff. And every time she had a bad idea and I would go along with it because that's my bitch, and she got caught, she would tell him that it was my idea. And it was never my fucking idea. So her baby daddy didn't like me either. I didn't give a damn what his ass liked and didn't fucking like. I didn't like his punk ass. But yeah. So next thing I know, my sister texts me and she's just like, oh, who is she talking about on Instagram? And I go and I try to look at it and I'm blocked. My sister sent me the screenshot and it was something about, oh, I feel like I should cut off a fake friend and da-da-da-da-da, X, Y, and Z. And so I ended up messaging her about it. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, who are you talking about? She was like, I'm talking about you, da-da-da-da-da, X, Y, and Z. And so she's just going in on me and I'm just like, I went in back, but I didn't really give a fuck because I'm just like, I really just did not give a fuck. you in that toxic ass relationship and you just had a baby by that toxic ass man and y'all always arguing. It's not even fun to hang out with you no more. Like, and I wasn't even trying to be like that, but I'm like, I have friends with babies that are still fun to hang out with. And they don't put up with no bullshit like that. Like, my best friend, she left that baby daddy. Like, they were so in love, but then when she found out how he was, she left. She did not play that shit. So I didn't even know what else to do at 22. And yeah, nothing really else to it. Wish them the best. I hope the baby's okay.